What's going on, guys? Lindsay from L&J here, and we are on part 2 of this flea series. As I said before, if bugs aren't your thing, I am sorry, but this is information that you just need to know. So let's get into it. Your groomer's education is important to your dog's health. They are regularly inspecting every square inch of your pet, from head to toe every few weeks. They should know what they're looking for and exactly what they're looking at. Regular grooming allows for your groomer to be able to hopefully catch and notice fleas before they get out of control. The first sign that your pet has fleas is that they'll be itching and biting at themselves. So this is something that you'll definitely be able to notice at home. And if your dog doesn't have allergies, it could be fleas causing them to scratch. Or it could actually be an allergy to fleas, which if that's the case, then we have double the trouble. When you separate the hair and you look at the skin, you can oftentimes see what's called flea dirt. And it's given that term because it's actually feces mixed with blood, which is much less pleasant to say. So if that doesn't suck enough that your dog has poop blood on them, it is a big sign that fleas have found a new home. Flea dirt looks like tiny black specks on the skin, similar to coffee grounds. If you wet them, they'll turn a reddish brown color as they start to disintegrate. If you're washing in a tub, the runoff water will change color. This could cause alarm that your pet has been injured, but don't worry, this is just the flea dirt dissolving and it's just washing away. You can also see fleas and flea dirt on a light towel as you rub it over your pet at the end of a bath. I would also recommend letting it lay under them while you brush and dry them. If the infestation isn't severe enough to cause the runoff water to change, or if you're having trouble seeing down to the skin, this is a pretty easy way to check, as the fleas are going to show up against that light towel as you're blowing and brushing out your pet. The best place to look, I found, are near the genitals and inner thighs. I like to use a dryer to separate the hair to see down to the skin. Of course, a flea comb is a great tool to use as well. However, I find them to be a little bit more effective with removing fleas that I already know exist from places like the face. Trying to catch a flea between your fingers is a lot harder than you would think. If your pet gives you a difficult time at home with the dryer, you can gently slide your hand against the grain of the coat to create more visibility of the skin. If you've checked your dog out and you've realized we are in some trouble, well, you have come to the right place, because I'll go over some types of flea prevention in the next video and my personal opinions on them. But first, let's go over something just as important as that, which is protecting your home. Realistically, if they've made a home on your pet, they're living rent-free in your home too. If this is your current situation, then spring sprang early because it is time to clean. I always recommend to my clients that the first thing they do is wash all of their pets' bedding and all of their own bedding in hot water with laundry detergent. This may need to be done every few days depending on the amount of fleas, but realistically should be done every few weeks in my opinion. Okay, tell me in the comments how often you wash your own bedding, and don't lie. I'm curious to see what the normal here is, because I also recommend to regularly vacuum your home. And this is not something that's only going to help prevent fleas from infesting your home, but this is also going to help control the tumbleweeds of dog hair that we just love to see as dog owners rolling around our floor. I've also found that putting a flea collar inside the vacuum bag or wherever your vacuum hair accumulates can help prevent fleas from breeding into your vacuum. Overall, keeping a relatively clean space will help reduce the fleas in your home, just like any other pest. However, if the infestation is too bad, the normal spring cleaning will not do the trick. At this point, you'll have to find something stronger. There are plenty of things that can be used in your home though, and it just depends on what you're comfortable with using. Only about 5% of the infestation actually lives on your pet. So tackling your home properly to take care of the other 95% is gonna be crucial. So these products are just as important to read through and ensure that you're using them as directed. The main things you're gonna find when it comes to your home are different sprays, powders, foggers, and traps. My favorite form of home prevention are the flea traps. It's a great way to monitor if there are fleas in your environment and to get rid of them on a small scale. They are usually made of some form of sticky glue trap that gets plugged in and it has a light on it. The fleas are attracted to the warmth of the light and drawn out of their hiding places. Once you notice fleas popping up on the trap, move to something like a powder or a spray at that point. Powders seem to be more effective at drying out the fleas and the eggs, but if you're worried about lingering powders in your carpet, sprays will dry after a while and you'll be good to go. Check that trap again after you've treated your home, and if we're still in the danger zone, it will be time to amp up the efforts and go with a fogger. If you don't feel comfortable using these products, that's okay. There are professional companies that will help solve your flea problem quickly, but this isn't usually cheap. So if you want to try and tackle the foggers, you'll need to find something to do for a few hours, and you need to make sure that you can take your pets with you. If your home is compromised, we need to think about where they're coming from. Outside. Using sprays and powders can help encourage fleas to stay away, but be aware of other animals and plants that could be affected by your sprays and powders. Sometimes, despite all of these efforts, you may feel like you're in an absolute war against a very small army. You're not wrong, and you should call in special forces to eliminate the enemy at this point. I tend to be a do-it-yourselfer, so I recommend staying on top of it so you don't have to go this route. But if you're at this point, then you may have to. Check reviews and shop around to make sure you find the right exterminator for you. There are a few natural remedies that I personally am a fan of, so I think it's important that we go over some of the less chemically options. Some may view these things as snake oil, but if they aren't hurting you or your pet and they're not toxic, why not add them to boost your safety? Because nobody wants another plague outbreak. These remedies can be used with other preventatives and they are considered safe options. My first favorite is something that I use regularly called diatomaceous earth. This is a powder that can be spread around the yard to dry out flea eggs, and it works to prevent other pests like ticks and mites from living in the yard. We also use a product called First Saturday Lime. I love this for my dogs and chickens because it is completely safe. Even if they were to lick or peck at the powder, they use a limestone base unlike anything I've used before, and it works fantastically. If you're a gardener, which I am not, there are some plants that act like a natural flea repellent. Adding lemongrass, mint, and sage to your gardens or around your yard can discourage fleas from traveling through it. It is also common to find these kinds of plants around doorways to help create more of a barrier between your dog's living space and the outside world. I absolutely love this idea, and if I could keep plants alive, then I would be all about this. As for natural remedies to be used indoors, you could try a few different things, and an easy option is to thinly slice lemons, boil them, and then let them sit overnight in the water. Pour the lemon water into a spray bottle and lightly mist this around your home. If you want something easy to boost your dog's natural flea prevention from the inside out, try brewer's yeast. There were tests done back in the 50s about brewer's yeast and its effectiveness on dogs, but scientists didn't actually figure out why it works. Just that it does. So they think it could be a combination of the minerals that create a magical anti-flea effect, but they haven't broken the code yet. I think natural prevention is the safest prevention, but it may not be enough for everyone. Prevention isn't a one-size-fits-all product. In the next video, I'll dig into the actual types of prevention for your dog and what you absolutely need to know about them. So be on the lookout for part 3. You don't want to miss that information. It is critical for making informed decisions for your pet. Also, check out our social media. Let us know your thoughts on natural preventatives. I'd love to hear about things that have worked for you and your pet. Be the person that your dog thinks that you are. Be kind, and I'll see you soon.